next chapter of this paper number one, integers. And today the topic for discussion is mathematical induction or the principles of mathematical induction. First is well ordering principle. Every non-empty set denoted by S of non-negative integers. What is the non-negative integers? Means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the non-negative integers. And we can say the subset S is subset of capital N, set of natural numbers union 0. That is 0, that is whole numbers, set of whole numbers. S is subset of whole numbers. S is set of non-negative integers means what? S is a subset of whole numbers, set of whole numbers, W, or a set of natural numbers with 0. That is, this S contains the element 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to infinity. Out of that elements, this S contains some elements. And that is, S is what? Non-empty set of non-negative integers. That is, this S does not contain the fractional numbers. That is 0.5, 0.6. These are not the members of this set S. S is what? Set of non-negative integers. That is, what are the elements of S? Either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.5, 1.6, 0.5. These are not the members of this set S. S is what? Non-empty set of non-negative integers. Contains a least element. So what is the statement of this well-ordering principle? Every non-empty set S of non-negative integers contains a least element. We know the least element means what? The smallest element in that set. That is, there exists some integer that is element in S. Suppose A. When A is called least element, if A is less than or equal to B for all B belongs to S. Means what? A is what? Less than, either less than or equal to all the elements of S. That is, S is the smallest element. Least elements means smallest element in that set. So when the smallest element or least element exists in the set, if it is non-empty subset of non-negative integers. But if it is not non-empty subset of non-negative integers, then we cannot find a least element. Sometimes we cannot find least element in that set. But if it is subset of non-negative integers, then least element or smallest element exists in that set. For example, this set A. What is this set? A contains 2, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 11. Obviously, all these are the non-negative integers. These elements of A are non-negative integers. That is, this is the non-empty set of non-negative integers. Okay, and then what is the least element in this set? The least element in A is 0, because 0 is what? Strictly less than 2. 0 is strictly less than 5. 0 is strictly less than 4. 0 is less than, not less than, but it is equal to 0. That is, 0 is strictly less than 7 and all these elements. So this A0 satisfies this property that 0 is less than or equal to B for all B belongs to S. That is, we have the least element in that set because it is a subset, a non-empty subset of set of natural numbers or a set of whole numbers. This set B, this is the open set 2, 6. So first, what are the elements of this set 2, 6? Open set 2, 6. This set does not contain 2 as well as 6. What are the elements? Then what are the elements of B? All the numbers lies between 2 and 6. So how many numbers lies between 2 and 6? The answer is not 3. The answer of this problem, this question is not 3. That 3 numbers lies between 2 and 6. Actually, 3 natural numbers or integers lies between 2 and 6. What are that? 3, 4, and 5. The integers or natural numbers lies between 2 and 6 are what? 3, 4, 5. These 3 are the natural numbers or integers lies between 2 and 6. But how many numbers lies between 2 and 6? Infinitely many numbers lies between 2 and 6. What are that? The numbers are what? 2.2, 2.1, 2.01, 2.11, 2.13, 2.5, 2.6, then 2.9, 2.99, then 3 also is the element of the set 2.6, open set 2.6, then 3.1, 3.2, that is all the numbers like between 2 and 6. So how many numbers like between 2 and 6? Infinitely many numbers like between 2 and 6. How many natural numbers or integers like between 2 and 6? The answer is 3. But how many numbers like between 2 and 6? Between 2 and 6, there are infinitely many numbers. So what is this set B? B is the set of all numbers like between 2 and 6. Okay. And what is the least element of this set B? 2 is not least element of this set B, because 2 is not member of this set B. 2 is not element of this set B. And then what is the least element of this set B? Someone say it is 2.1, but 2.1 is not the least element in this set, because we have some numbers which are also less than 2.1 and are the members of this set B. What are that? 2.01, 2.001. These are the elements of this set 2 and less than 2.1. So 2.1 is not least element. So 2.01 is the least element of this set. Answer is again no, because 2.01 we have least we have numbers less than this 2.01 in this set. What are that? 2.01, not 1, 2.001. All these are the elements of this set, that is the members of this set B, and are less than 2.01. So if we take the what is the next element that after 2 of this set? That element is the least element. But what is the number next than 2? Someone said 2.01, but it is not the next element. Then 2. 2.000. If we take 2.000, this not suppose 1 koti time, 1 crore time. We will take this not 1 crore time, and then write 1. This is very nearest number to 2, but it is not the least element of this set, because if you increase not by 1, then we have the least. We have the number less than that number, and therefore we cannot find the least element in this set of this set. So this set is what? Actually, why this happen? Because this B is not a subset of, is not set of non-negative integers. It is not subset of whole number, natural numbers. Okay, this set contains numbers, natural numbers. So if the set is not a set of non-negative integers, then sometime we cannot find least element. But if it is subset of non-negative integers, then we can find a least element in that set. So this is the well-ordering principle, that every non-empty set yes of non-negative integers has a least element or contains a least element present in that set. If it is subset of non-negative integers, then like this A is a set of non-negative integers. That's why we have the least element. But if the set is not a set of non-negative integers, then a least element may or may not be exist, not necessarily exist. Least element not necessarily exist if it is not subset of non-negative integers. And then principles of mathematical induction. So the first one is called first principle of mathematical induction, or first principle of induction, or also it's called weak principle of mathematical induction. The first principle is also called weak principle of mathematical induction, or the principle of weak mathematical induction. So this mathematical induction, shortly denoted by the short form, that is capital M dot I dot. So this is the standard short form of this mathematical induction, word mathematical induction. That is capital M dot, capital I dot, mathematical induction. So what is it? That suppose for each n belongs to n, is capital N means set of natural numbers, means this set contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to infinity, and n is any natural number, okay, belongs to n. Statement Pn is given. Suppose Pn is the given statement, that is, we have to prove this statement. Pn is given statement. If number one, or step is called step one, P1 is true. That is, first show P1 is true, and the second is what? Assume Pk is true. Pk is true implies, or that is prove that. Implies means that is prove that Pk plus 1 is true. That is, assume Pk is true in second step. What is K? K is greater than or equal to 1. That is, suppose K is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any value of this K. So either use letter K or M. Then what is the second step? Pk is true implies, that is, then Pk plus 1 is also true. That is, assume Pk is true and prove Pk plus 1 is true. This is second step. If these two steps are true, then Pn is true for each positive integer n, or Pn is true for all n belongs to n, positive integer n. Okay, that is, when Pn is true, step number one, P1 is true, and the step number second, Pk is true implies Pk plus 1 is true. That is, if you assume Pk is true, and then if we have Pk plus 1 is also true, then we say Pn is true for each positive integer. So this is the procedure to prove the statement Pn for all n belongs to n. Because we have to prove Pn for all n belongs to n means we have to prove P1 is true, P2 is true, P3 is true, P4 is true, and so on. But it is endless procedure. So in this case, use this principle of mathematical induction. So what is the first principle of mathematical induction? Prove P1 is true. This is the first step. Or either prove P1 is true, or P2 is true, or P3 is true. This is the next statement, or this first principle in this form, or writing this form. What is it? Again, n belongs to n, and statement Pn is given, and then n not be any integer. That is, value of n not is either 1. This value of n not is integer, means what? It is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, and then prove Pn not is true. That is, either prove P1 is true, or P2 is true, or P3 is true, or P4 is true. This is the first step. And the second step is what? Assume Pk is true and prove Pk plus 1 is true. That is, Pk is true implies Pk plus 1 is true. That is, assume Pk is true and prove Pk plus 1 is true. That is, where K is what? N is greater than or equal to n naught. That is, if you take this n naught as 3, then take K as greater than or equal to 3. Like this, K is greater than or equal to 1. So both are the same statements. Write anyone in the exam as a first principle of mathematical induction, or weak principle of mathematical induction. That is, what are the two steps in this first principle? First, show P1 is true, or P2 is true, or P3 is true. And in the second step, B, assume Pk is true and prove that Pk plus 1 is true. And so then we say Pn is true for all n belongs to n, or for all positive integers here. Positive integers means value of n is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means n belongs to n. So both the statements are same. Write any one in exam as a first principle of mathematical induction, or weak principle of mathematical induction. And the second principle of mathematical induction, or it's called a principle of strong mathematical induction, or strong principle of mathematical induction. So what is the statement? Again, n is the element of n, capital N, natural number. A statement Pn is given. That is, we have to prove the Pn statement. And what is the first step? If P1 is true, that is, so P1 is true, and the second statement is what? K is greater than or equal to 1. PR is true for all r less than or equal to K and greater than or equal to 1. That is, here, what is the change in the second principle? And that in the second principle, first principle, Pk is true. That is, just for that K, assume Pk is true. But here, we assume P1 is true, P2 is true, P3 is true, P4 is true, P5 is true, up to Pk is true. All are true. And then show Pk plus 1 is true. That is, PR is true for all R runs from 1 to K. That is what is our assumption in second step, that P1 is true, P2 is true, P3 is true, Pk is true. All these are true. In this first principle, only Pk is true. And then prove Pk plus 1 is true. But in the strong principle, we assume PR is true for all R runs from 1 to K. That is, PR is true for all R from 1 to K. And then prove that Pk implies means then prove Pk plus 1 is true. Then Pn is true for each positive integer n. So this is the second principle of mathematical induction, or strong principle of mathematical induction. So the examples on these mathematical inductions. The first question is, the first example is, for any natural number n, show that 1 square plus 2 square plus dash 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 n square is equal to n plus 1 to n plus 1 by 6. So we assume this statement, obviously for any natural number, that is, we have to prove for n belongs to n, Pn, we denote this statement given statement by using notation Pn. What is Pn? 1 square plus 2 square plus dash dash n square is equal to n plus 1 to n plus 1 by 6. And we have to prove this Pn by using mathematical induction. Obviously, we will prove this statement by using first principle of mathematical induction. So what is the first step? For n is equal to 1, we have to prove this. That is, substitute n is equal to 1 in LHS and RHS and show both are same. So if we substitute n is equal to 1, then 1 square is what? 1 square is the LHS, because n is equal to 1. And what is RHS? 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 1. That is what? 1, that is substitute n is equal to 1 in RHS. And what is the value of this quantity? Is this is 2 into, this is 3, 2 into 3 is 6, and 6 by 6 is 1, and 1 square is 1. That is, LHS and RHS both are same, and therefore P1 is 2. That is, the statement is true for n is equal to 1. This step, first step. So what is the first step is what? P1 is 2. That is, it is true for n is equal to 1. This is the first step of the mathematical induction. Then second step is what? Assume Pk is true. Assume Pk is true. That is what? Substitute n as n is equal to k. And then what do we have? 1 square plus 2 square plus k square is equal to k plus 1 to k plus 1 by 6. That is, substitute n is equal to k in this Pn. And this is our assumption. This is not, we have to prove. What we have to prove? We have to show Pk plus 1 is 2. That is substitute n as k plus 1. What we have? 1 square plus 2 square plus k plus 1 square. This is LHS. What is the previous quantity of k plus 1 square? Is k square. Okay. And it's equal to what? K. That is, substitute k as a k plus n as k plus 1. So what do we have? K plus 1. K plus 1 plus 1 means k plus 2. K plus 1 plus 1 means k plus 2. And then here is substitute k plus 1. 2 in bracket k plus 1 plus 1. So its simplification is what? Its simplification is this: k plus 1, 2k plus 1 plus 1 plus k plus 1 plus 1 means k plus 2. That is, we have to prove this. We have to prove the statement for a k plus 1 means what we have to prove? We have to prove 1 plus 2 square, 1 square plus 2 square plus dash k plus 1 square is equal to this. That is, substitute n as k plus 1. What we have to show? K plus 1 in bracket k plus 1 plus 1 in bracket 2 in bracket k plus 1 plus 1. This we have to prove. So what is your procedure? This is our assumption. This is called induction hypothesis. This is called induction hypothesis. This is given, and in the second step, Pk is true, and we have to show the Pk plus 1 is true. That is, what is the proof to show Pk plus 1 is true? Add k plus 1 square in both sides of this. So what do we have? K plus 1 square here, and here is this as it is plus k plus 1 square. This is the proof for the result pk plus 1. And then LCM is 6, then 6 into this k plus 1 square, and then its simplification is k plus 1. Take this k plus 1 common from these two quantities. What do we have in square bracket? K, 2k plus 1 here, and here 6k plus 1, because k plus 1 square, out of this k plus 1 square, k plus 1 is a common factor, therefore remaining factor is k plus 1. And then its simplification is k plus 1. This simplification is 2k square plus 7k plus 6, and its factorization. Factorization of this is what? 2k plus 3, k plus 2. Factorization of 2k square plus 7k plus 6. How what? 6 into 2 is 12. And then factorize 7 as a multiplication is 12, and addition is what? 7. So 6 into 2, 12. So what are the two factors? Addition is 7 and multiplication is 12. So 4 3s are 12. Okay, 4, right? 4k plus 3k plus 6. Then take common factor and then factorize this. 2k square plus 7k plus 6. This is factorization. And write this k plus 2 as a k plus 1 plus 1. And write this 2k plus 3 as 2 in bracket k plus 1 plus 1. And then this is what? That is, this is what? If we substitute n as k plus 1 in LHS, we have this LHS. We have this is the LHS. And if we substitute n as k plus 1, then what we have? K plus 1. Then k plus 1 plus 1. That is this factor, k plus 1 plus 1. And then 2 in bracket k plus 1 plus 1 means this factor, 2 in bracket k plus 1 plus 1. That is, this is what? This means that pk plus 1 is true. That is, this pn is true for n is equal to k plus 1. That is what is the second step of this mathematical induction. Assume pk is true. This is our assumption, and the proof is what? Pk plus 1 is true. This is equal to this means pk plus 1 is true, or pn is true for n is equal to k plus 1, and therefore we say by mathematical induction plus principle of mathematical induction, pn is true for all natural numbers n, or pn is true for all n, small n belongs to capital N. So this is the procedure of proof by using principle of mathematical induction. That is, the proof is in the two steps. The first step is what? Prove the result is true for n is equal to 1, and in assume the result is true for n is equal to k, and prove the result is true for n is equal to k plus 1, and then we say that pn is true for all natural numbers. The next example on the mathematical induction, for n greater than equal to 1, prove by mathematical induction 1 plus, right, only 1 plus 1 raised to 1, 2 raised to 1, then 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to n minus 1. Okay, that is actually, this is 1 means 2 raised to 0 actually. Then 2 raised to plus 2 raised to 1 plus 2 raised to 2 plus 2 raised to 3 plus 2 raised to 4 plus 2 raised to n minus 1. So this is actually n term is 2 raised to n minus 1. So we have to prove this. Remove this 1 plus sign here. 1 plus, right? 1 plus 2 raised to 1 plus 2 raised to 2 plus 2 raised to 3 plus 2 raised to n minus 1 is 2 raised to n minus 1. So denote this statement by n, pn. For we have to prove this is for n, for all n greater than equal to 1 means for all natural numbers. That is, n belongs to n. And then denote this statement by pn. And now we have to show this statement is true for all n belongs to n. Means by using mathematical induction, the first step is what? Put n is equal to 1 in LHS and in RHS. So what do we have? We have the LHS is what? 1 is the LHS, and the RHS is what? 2 raised to 1 minus 1, that is 2 raised to 2 minus 1, that is again 1. So LHS and RHS both are same, means P1 is 2, or the Pn is 2 for n is equal to 1. This statement is true for n is equal to 1. Then we assume that pk is true. We assume pk is true. That is, we assume that 1 plus 2 raised to 1, here is right 1 plus 2 raised to 1. It is don't write directly 2 raised to 2. Then 1 plus 2 raised to 1 plus 2 raised to 2 plus 2 raised to k minus 1 is equal to 2 raised to k minus 1. This is 2 raised to k minus 1 and this is 2 raised to k then minus 1. So this is if we write k n as k, we have this step, right? Correction is here, right? 1 plus 2 raised to 1 then plus 2 raised to 2 and so on. Then we have to show this result is true for n is equal to k plus 1. That is why I have to prove 1 plus 2 raised to 1 plus 2 raised to 2 plus 2 raised to, here is like k plus 1 minus 1. 2 raised to k plus 1, right here as k plus 1. K plus 1 minus 1 means 2 raised to k is equal to 2 raised to k plus 1 minus 1. That is why I have to show this. So for that, add 2 raised to k in both sides. What is the next step? Add 2 raised to k in both sides. So what do we have? 2 to 1 plus, right here, 2 raised to 1 plus 2 raised to 2 plus 2 raised to k minus 1 plus 2 raised to k. Means what actually? 2 raised to k means 2 raised to k plus 1 minus 1 is equal to 2 raised to k minus 1 plus 2 raised to k. And 2 raised to k become 2 times 2 raised to k. Like a plus a is what? 2 times a. This is not a into a. A into a is a square. But a plus a is 2a minus 1. And then 2 raised to k plus 1. This same means addition of power. Minus 1. That is why I have to show this. 2 raised to k plus 1 minus 1. That is pk plus 1 is 2. And hence, what is the second step? Assume the result is true for n is equal to k and show the result is true for n is equal to k plus 1. And hence, by mathematical induction, we say Pn is true for all natural numbers. So these are some problems on the mathematical induction. We will see the remaining problems of mathematical induction